Helicopter. Although this aircraft isn't 100% homemade, it's definitely worthy of our attention, since it was assembled by one person. Many parts of the helicopter, such as the lighting equipment, the beacon, the main and tail gears, and the blades, were taken from other aircraft. They were assembled together by Russian inventor Vasily Sverdlov. The project took several years to implement, and for the most part it was done in the yard of the designer's house. The main purpose of the SV-7 is to assist in the maintenance of agricultural fields. Roller coaster. Let's go to the United States to Scott Brazelton's backyard to take a look at the next project. He created a small roller coaster for kids with his own hands and using mostly improvised materials. He came up with the idea after a trip to Disneyland. The track is made out of PVC pipes which he bought at a local construction store. The car was made from steel sheets. He decided not to use a chain drive since the small parts could be potentially dangerous for children. Haunted Mansion. Another American inventor from northern Indiana decided to take the idea a little further. Instead of a simple roller coaster, he created an entire amusement ride in his backyard. He created a haunted mansion specially for Halloween. It consists of a track running through a cemetery. The track is entirely handmade. The walls are cut out of XPS insulation boards. Even the drive system was assembled entirely by hand by a single person. The ride also has elaborate lighting and sound effects. Bike rollers. You don't have to spend a lot of money on expensive equipment to exercise from the comfort of your own home. After all, building a homemade exercise bike will cost you about $10. All you need is a working bicycle. The construction itself is assembled from a metal profile or wooden slats. The rollers, which allow you to ride the bike on the spot, are made of PVC pipes. During the work, the craftsmen use simple tools that can be found in every home: glue, a screwdriver, nails, and a saw. Cart. As this project shows, an ordinary drill can replace the motor of a go-kart. 2 homemade carts were made in this project at once. The frame was assembled from a large number of wooden boards. The creator also repurposed the seat of an ordinary chair, used 4 wheels and a small amount of wires. Most of the parts were bought at the local hardware store. The seat, meanwhile, was taken from an old chair with broken legs. M4A3 Sherman tank. An inventor from the Czech Republic has created a frightening-looking mini-weapon. Surprisingly, he made this replica of the American M4 Sherman tank entirely with his own hands. Moreover, he even managed to recreate the T-34 multiple rocket launcher system, which was actively used during World War II. The hull of the tank was made of steel on a manual milling and turning machine. The parts were joined together by welding. The multiple rocket launcher has a capacity of 33 rounds and fires 6mm steel balls. As you can see, it's powerful enough to destroy and penetrate small objects. Cardboard cannon. If working with metal seems complicated and too serious, you can start with something smaller, like this cardboard cannon that shoots empty aluminium cans. You can assemble a similar weapon in one evening if you have all the necessary parts. The casing is made of cardboard sheets, which are glued together in layers to strengthen the construction. The trigger mechanism has a simple construction. Shots are made using regular rubber bands. It's not powerful enough for heavy projectiles, but it's just right for lightweight cans. T90 tank. Cardboard is a great material because any remaining details can be used for another interesting project. For example, on a mini replica of the Russian T90 tank. Almost all parts of this model are made of cardboard. The creator used glue to connect the main elements, but the wheels are held on toothpicks. Corrugated cardboard was chosen to make the tracks. The only thing in this model that's not assembled by hand is the motor, the remote control, and the launcher, which is responsible for firing. Vacuum cleaner. In the case the vacuum cleaner breaks down, it can be temporarily replaced by a homemade gadget, which can be built in a few simple steps. All you need for the project is a couple of old plastic bottles, a small DC motor, a sheet of metal, a drill, a soldering iron, and a box cutter. The bottles will act as the body, as well as a removable dust collector. The propeller is made from a sheet of metal. The motor is responsible for the operation of the system. The parts are connected to each other with glue and adhesive tape. The result is a vacuum cleaner powerful enough to cope even with large debris. Toy machine gun drone. Some projects amaze us with their complexity, even if it's just a toy. For example, to create a shooting drone like this, the craftsman first made a three-dimensional model of it in a special program. After that, the body parts were made on a 3D printer. After that, the creator needed two Tower Pro MG996R servo drives, a 28BYJ48 stepper motor, and an Arduino Nano hardware platform. All of this, plus a toy gun, was purchased in advance. Next, the craftsman only had to connect the parts together to create a functional flying drone that shoots gel balls. Robot arm. And here's another interesting project that can be executed using professional equipment, in particular a CNC lathe. This machine will make it possible to give a solid piece of metal the desired shape in a short period of time. The connecting elements for the robotic arm were made of plastic. Small parts like roller bearings, a harmonic drive, and a control panel were bought in an online store. The finished product can perform a wide range of functions. Blades of Chaos. Fans of the game God of War will love the next invention. These are the Blades of Chaos from the popular game franchise. They were made from improvised materials in the courtyard of an ordinary house. The blades were cut using a laser from a 0.1-inch thick sheet of steel. The craftsman used a hand grinder to sharpen the edges. The decorative pattern on the surface was made with a welding machine. Excessive scale was removed with a grinder. The handles are made of wood, and the craftsman spent a particularly long time on them, adding a lot of small details. Scorpion. In the hands of a talented craftsman, even an old computer mouse can be transformed into something amazing. For example, a toy scorpion with remote control. The mouse served as the body of the toy, while all the electronic circuits and wires had to be connected by hand. The legs and tail were the easiest part. They were made from a piece of flexible wire and cardboard. The creator also added a pair of wheels made from beads for the scorpion to move. Water wheel. It's not necessary to use a complex hydroelectric power plant to generate electricity from a river. It's possible to make a functional water wheel with your own hands, following the example of this inventor from the UK. It cost $7,500 to build the wheel, but the installation paid for itself in 4 years, because every day it allows you to save $9 on electricity. Since it was built, the wheel has been working successfully for about 8 years. Satellite dish. You can try to save money on your TV bill with a tin can, a knife, a wire, and a steel sheet. This is exactly the set of items this craftsman needed to make a quite functional satellite dish. Chopper. Let's go to Germany to take a look at the next amazing homemade vehicle. The craftsman made the frame using 0.8-inch steel pipes. The pipe bender was bought at some store for $22. The engine is a vintage single-cylinder 150cc Villiers MK15. The finished construction turned out to be very simple, but at the same time incredibly stylish.